In this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure permissions for your clients and staff members here in Freshbooks. Now, later on in this video series, I'm going to take you through an entire overview of all the settings here in Freshbooks, but because we're already talking about clients and staff members in this section of the video series, I'd like to talk about permissions now as well. So I'm starting out here in the People section of Freshbooks and then in the subsection of Assigned Clients, where we left off in the last video. From here, I'm going to go down to this yellow box on the bottom right, and I'm going to click Project Access Permissions. You'll notice when I click on that, it actually takes me to the Settings section here in Freshbooks and to the Permissions tab. So you can access this at any time later on by clicking on Settings and then clicking on Permissions. Now you'll notice that there are really three main sections within the overall permissions area here in Freshbooks, and that is the Administrator tabs, Staff tabs, and Client tabs. So the Administrator tabs, this is what is visible and available to you. And you'll notice by default, you can see estimates, expenses, and time tracking here in Freshbooks. There are these two other features of Freshbooks, support and documents, that by default are not visible. Now, I think the reason that Freshbooks does that is just to simplify things and make things easier. However, Freshbooks does offer these two features. The first one is a support feature. So if you've got clients that might be submitting help desk support requests to your organization, they can do so using Freshbooks. There's also a software package produced by the same company that creates FreshBooks called Freshdesk that you can integrate with FreshBooks, which really takes your whole support ticketing system to a new level. But that will be talked about later on in this video series. FreshBooks also offers the ability to upload documents here in FreshBooks. So if you have documents regarding certain projects for your clients, if you have project proposals and outlines and wireframes and really anything, you can upload them here in FreshBooks, and then your client can log into their FreshBooks account and see the documents. So it's up to you whether you want to enable these two features. I'm going to enable them at least for the administrator for now. Here in the Staff section, you have the ability to choose which areas of FreshBooks your staff has access to. So you can see by default, they have access to all the same sections that the administrator has access to for clients that they're assigned to. So if you don't want your staff to be able to look at reports and expenses, you can uncheck these areas here in FreshBooks. I'm going to leave them checked for now, but that's obviously up to you based on your organization's specific needs. You can also choose whether or not staff are permitted to create and manage projects as well as view all project reports. So if you don't want them to be able to create their own projects, go ahead and uncheck this checkbox. You can also decide whether or not staff are permitted to send invoices, estimates, and credits to clients through email and snail mail. So maybe you want your staff to be able to access projects and see what's going on in a particular project, but when it comes to invoicing, you want to do that yourself, you could go ahead and you could uncheck this checkbox. You also have the option of letting your staff create and edit your clients. That might be an area where you might want to limit them. Maybe invoicing, project management. All of those are things that your staff can do, but when it comes to creating and editing clients, you want to do it yourself. Go ahead and uncheck the client management checkbox. And then ticket administration, this goes along the same lines with that support feature here in FreshBooks. If you want your staff to be able to view and update support tickets for clients that they are assigned to, go ahead and keep this box checked. If not, you can go ahead and uncheck that. Then down here at the bottom, you can choose the areas that you want your client to be able to have access to. So if you are using the support and documents feature, you can go ahead and you can check those. If, let's say, you have a client that is being invoiced every month, but they aren't receiving estimates, they don't have detailed projects here in FreshBooks, and you want to simplify things for them, you could uncheck all of these boxes except invoices. So that way when they log in, they can just view their invoices, they don't get confused by having all these other sections available to them here in FreshBooks, and they can just access that area that they need access to. You can choose whether clients are allowed to dispute invoices or not, and then you can also choose whether they are allowed to administer and create new folders and upload documents to the documents section. So maybe you want them to be able to view documents you've uploaded, but you don't want them changing anything. You could give them access to the documents section, yet uncheck the document administration section, and that way they'll be able to view everything but not make any changes. So once you are happy with how your permissions are set up here in FreshBooks, go ahead and hit Save.